So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and I love being here each and every Saturday with our Mantech Australasian family, along with Diana Hunter and Gary Knapp. And, while we get a lot of gratitude for this weekly effort, I can tell you it's also has selfish intent. We get a lot of benefit from it as well. And today we're very privileged to have James Hannan. I'll just give you a little bit about his background. James likes to say that he's the story that no teacher wants to tell their students about. He went from getting the lowest grade in his high school year to becoming a national sales manager of a small public company. His passion for understanding the sales process and what makes a person say yes to buying a product fueled his success because he could never understand why people would say no. If they did, he knew he had made a mistake and mistakes could be fixed. But it was this knowledge of people's behaviors that warned him that changes were coming for the company he worked for. He needed to start a new challenge and see if he could take his passion for people and processes and do something for himself. James said no to building a Mantech business 3 times, but then one day his upline Rod Gilchrist helped him see what was possible. Although James wasn't an overnight success, he was able to build a large international business starting over 21 years ago. His passion for Mantech is more today than it ever has been. His dream is to help all Mantechers achieve their dreams with this company. Have you ever had, and this is my question, ask yourself and look amongst ourselves here on the webinar today, have you ever had trouble trying to explain amber toast to someone, or have their eyes glaze over after an hour of you telling how amazing the science is? I think we've all done that. So today, James is going to assist us with some simple steps in communicating about our hero technology. So James, this is much needed. Like Diana said, everybody needs amber toast right now. So if we can be the best stewards and the best communicators, that's only going to benefit the planet.
And I want to put my hand up again. We're going to need a follow-up after this one, if that's okay with you, Sharon, if you can fit me in the future. I know I am the worst person in the world at the moment to get availability. I apologize for that, but things are getting a little bit easier on my end, just with lockdowns have been crazy with what's happened for us. So, but yeah, we're going to need a little follow-up, if that's okay with you.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Do you need a screen share?
Yes, please. So first of all, I want you to understand, I get it. Right now, as you move into building a business for yourself, you often wonder, you come in with all of the excitement under the sun. You come in believing and knowing that this is what you want to do. You come in and go, I've got this, I'm excited about this. And so because I'm excited about this, then, everyone else should be excited about this. But then what happens is it starts to get confusing, it starts to get hard, and we start to wonder, do I have what it takes to succeed? Do I have what it takes to break through? Do I have what it takes to actually make a future and a career with what it is that I do? And when that starts to happen, you start to doubt yourself and you start to think, well, maybe I'm not meant for this. I'm not cut out for this. And you look at your business, it doesn't grow, it stagnates, and you find it hard to bring people in. I know that, I understand that. That was my story for so many years. When Rod got me started, I'll be forever grateful, forever grateful for his love, his support, his direction, for him taking me under his wing, for him showing me things that I didn't even realize that he was showing me. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, I'm going to lay a little bit of a foundation for you to understand that we are in network marketing. And those 2 words, sometimes we forget. Those 2 words, we forget that the implications of those 2 words. One is network, and it's about building a network. It's about finding people that want to connect with you and are like-minded with you and want to follow and go on the same journey as you. And then the next part of it is marketing, which is those people that you learn how to market your business and the product that you're in love with, and you bring it to the market. And that's, for me, what I've learned. And the more and more that I start to understand this, the more and more I continue to teach people about this every single day of the week. I work at the moment 7 days a week. I'm on the phone with people 7 days a week. I'm teaching them marketing. I'm showing them marketing. I'm showing them how to build their business so that they can grow and achieve their dreams. That is your chance, your opportunity right now. But you need to understand those two concepts, network, marketing, and how that they relate to your future. And as you know, Diana said before, and Sharon said before, especially, have you ever tried to explain amber toes and watch people's eyes glaze over as you talk about the science, or you talk about all of this stuff that goes along with it? And that's normal. People are going to glaze over. Now, I'm going to take you through a whole heap of different directions, not different, so one direction with the one guiding principle, guiding thought that I want you to grab a hold of today. And that is, I want to be a marketer. I want to become a professional marketer. And I want you to understand that this is going to be easy for you to get. What I'm going to explain to you today is going to be easy for you to understand and to implement. Now, here's what I want you to get. I have one of my businesses is a martial arts studio. I have the most amazing group of students. It's not huge. I only do it 3.5 days a week. So it's not even days. What I do, 15 hours a week. I have 80 something students, and it's just wonderful. I love it. And in that, they know that they're on a journey, and the journey really, for a lot of them, they think that the end journey is black belt. And I'm using this analogy because it's easy for everyone to understand. So I've got these little kids, they're 4 and 5 years old, and they walk in and they come up to me and say, "Hi, sir." They bring me their belt and I put their belt on. And then we run around like chooks with our head chopped off for the next half an hour. They get exhausted. Actually, I think I get exhausted. They go home and they've had a great experience and they learn little things along the way. Then the next level of people that come are the 6 to 8 year olds, right? They're 6 to 8 year old. They're a little bit more serious. They're a little bit easy, not easy, actually, they're harder, because you ever tried to run a room of 6 and 8 year olds, and get them to do what you tell them to do? They don't always do what you tell them to do. It's kind of the same in Manatech, right? You tell your team to do what you tell them to do, and they don't do what you tell them to do. So they don't get the results they told you to tell them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But every part of that is a journey. Then they go to the 9 to 13 year olds. And here's the thing, when they go from our 6 to 8 year olds, when they go up to our 9 to 13 year olds, let's say that they're a red belt in our 6 to 8 year olds. That's a high belt. The next belt after that is a provisional black. Okay, so at 8 years old, they could have a red belt. But here's what happens. When they go to condors, which is the next level up, 9 to 13 year olds, we take that red belt off them and we give them a white belt. They're learning. They're still learning. They're back in that learning principle, because now they've got to learn a whole new bunch of skills. They've got to learn a whole new format. They've got to get stronger and faster and better, because, hey, let's face it, a 9-year-old that's a red belt is not going to be able to they don't really know anything just yet. They know some stuff. Let me get you. Don't get that wrong, but they've got to learn some more stuff at a better level. So they get a white belt. And then they train with me at that level for another 4 years to get another red belt, not a black belt, another red belt. So they're 12 or 13 years old, and they could have gotten a red belt twice. That means they've been training for around 7 years. And I promise you, a person that's been training with me for 7 years is pretty darn hot. They're hot. They can do better things than me. Then what happens is they come up to teens and adults. And this is where it gets hard, because now what happens, again, they go put their red belt up on the shelf and they get given a white belt. They have to start again. But here's the thing. Do they start as a white belt in adults at the same knowledge as a white belt or a person that's just getting started with us? No, they start as a white belt in adults with 7 years previous experience. They're going to be hot. They're going to be good, right? But it's their previous experience. And in your business, every one of you that are on this call today, even though you may look at others and you may look at them and go, oh, wow, they're soaring ahead, or they're getting big results. Well, if they're getting big results and you're not, it's because their previous experience. It's because they were a red belt once before, but they've just come back to a white belt and starting here. Now, it may not have been in another network marketing company, but it might have been they were a pastor in a church, a leader in a business, an influencer, a personal trainer, a gym owner. It could have been anything like that, where they had a large amount of influence, or they developed a bunch of skills that got them ahead of the market faster, and that's what I want you to understand. Don't compare yourselves to other people, because you don't know the journey they've already had. You don't know what apprenticeship that they've had somewhere else. Instead, look at your own journey. Instead, look at your journey and say, well, how do I become better? How do I become the network marketer that I need to be? So that's my preamble, and I hope that's okay as a preamble to help you start to understand how we're going to market the world's biggest and best product in the nutritional industry, Glycans, the multi-billion-dollar opportunity. See, I know I said Ambertose. Maybe I was being a little bit cheeky, because Ambertose is the product you know. So why did I say Ambertose when I'm actually going to talk about Glycans? Well, because you know Ambertose, but your customers don't. So first of all, my first tip on marketing is now write this down, because this is not in the presentation. The first tip in marketing is talk to your customer in the way they understand. Talk to your business partner, your potential business partner, in the way they understand, the way that's going to speak to them, the way that their eyes are going to go, oh, I get that. Not in the way that you want to tell them. And that's the difference. And that's where Sharon was saying before, you've ever watched them glaze over and they've on their face, it says, kill me now, and it's the same. When we talk in the way we want to talk, when we present in the way that we want to present, they don't listen because they can't. Whereas you want to talk in the way that they understand. And that's the way we started this off. You're going to learn how to market Ambertose. Well, in fact, you're going to learn how to market Glycans, because Glycans are the multi-billion-dollar industry or opportunity that Manatech has already produced, that Manatech is already guaranteed and is already shown to be true. It's the Manatech difference. It's what sets us apart from everybody else out there, including those imposters that say that, they have what we have when they don't. And this is the thing to get. So let's have a look. So we're going to be talking to you today. And first, let's lay a foundation. We're going to talk about marketing, and we're going to connect the two together. For many years, you've heard us talk about niching down, or you've heard us talk about choosing a market that you're going to go after and own it. In my belief, and I think I've done all right in this over the years, I've made millions of dollars with Manatech. I think I'm possibly, if you put all my checks together, right up there as one of the top income earners, and all of that stuff. And you've got to, if you can, rather than niche down with exclusion, I want you to niche down with inclusion. And what do I mean by that? Is that when you start to look at Glycans as the opportunity, that is what you're niching down in. That is what you're going to speak about, is Glycans. And I'm not talking, and then understanding that as you talk about those Glycans, you can talk product and business. You can do both. Whereas we used to wonder, can we do both? We absolutely believe 100% you can do both. And for those of you who are wondering, oh no, I don't do Glycans, I don't do Ambertose, I just do the shakes. That's okay. Glycans are in the shakes. Okay. If you're just doing weight loss, Glycans are in the weight loss. If you're doing energy product, and Glycans should be part or are part of our energy products. So let's keep going. You see, we've got here, to be healthy, you need your cells to communicate when they need what they need clearly. To grow a business, you need to be able to communicate what you offer clearly. So they both come together. And that's the the message that I want you to understand. Some associates don't know how to make the opportunity they have easy to explain, so they make it hard. What they do is they talk about they get this. Let me send you to manatechscience.org. My hat. I do that, by the way. I just want you to know. If any of you send people to manatechscience.org, I do that as well. But there's a time. Okay. Some people, they'll sit down. I remember I've seen people with folders of information and they go, look, you don't believe me? Here, read this. And it's folders of information. You see, this business is built on simplicity, but we won't go there. So they make it hard. Their inability to make things simple gets in the way. You kind of look at that. No, what I was going to say. And so what we're talking about is the simplest way of presenting something is always going to be your best. The simplest way, whereas I want you to think about it this way. And this is where practice must come in. This is where you must be in front of the mirror, practicing over and over and over again to get it right. Because if you're not doing that, then it's not going to be simple. I still teach jab. I still get in front of the mirror and practice my jab. I tell you, I have a pretty good jab, but I still practice it. I get in the mirror and I practice my front kick. I have a good front kick, but it's getting better after 20 years. You would hope so, right? And it's the same with my other things. So, but here, even in this presentation, building Manatech for 22 years, I had to study, I had to research, I had to think, I had to practice. I had to read it out loud before I brought it to you to make sure that I'm able to get the message across that I want you to get across. There's another tip. There's another thing to understand that for you in your marketing, you must practice. But you've got to make things simple, because if you don't, your inability to make them simple gets in the way. Rather than learn leadership, sales and marketing, they learn science. They bring on customers, but not associates. Here's the next thing. I'm going to open up. I learn the science. I do. I'm not sure that for those of you that were around when I first got started and started to get some success with Manatech, I was at every event. I was up the front with my notepad with pages and pages and pages of notes from listening to Dr. Steve Nugent. To listening to the scientists and the doctors that we have. However, what I was doing at the same time is I was balancing my knowledge of the science and of the products with my knowledge on leadership, sales, and marketing. When I was able to balance those two, and when I was able to bring both of those two together in my business, I personally saw results. I personally was able to speak to somebody with confidence. I was personally able to duplicate my efforts. I was personally able to start to become a leader in my business. But what I was doing is I was combining. What have I done? Here we go. Now, because you're not able to, go here. Sorry, guys, it's because I'm still learning. Okay, this leaves you feel like you can't get associates, you can't earn incentives, and it's all too hard. If you've ever felt like that, maybe raise your hand, put it in the chat. Yeah, that's me. I felt that way. I want you to know that's okay. That's normal. That's part of the process. You're left looking at other teams, other companies, other people, wondering what makes them different. And why can they grow? Why are you being left behind? You have the product. You have you've seen the results, but why are you being left behind? You see, one of the problems we have with Manatech is our product is so good. You see, they just have to understand the formula. I want you to know that's all you have to do. You just have to understand the formula. And it truly is simple and it truly is beautiful. This is the way I like to look at it. There's simpler formulas out there, but I think they're a little bit too simple and they're missing a couple of points. This is what I believe the formula is. You must learn the products and the science. Then You must learn how to keep it simple. And then you must learn how to speak it the way your customer or your associate, your potential business partner wants you to speak it. Now, this won't come naturally. I promise you this. It won't. That it will not come naturally. You're going to have to practice, but it's worth it, right? You know that at the end of the day, getting this right allows you to generate the kind of income that you want. $1,000 a month, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever it is. This allows you to do it if you get it right. Customer speak is what I call it. Speak the way your customer wants you to. That then allows you to become confident and excited. You see, when you learn how to do these things, your confidence grows. You put me in the room with anybody. And when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to talking about Manatech, I'm confident. Why? I know how to do it. I've researched this sucker. I've gotten in the trenches. I've got the battle scars. I've got the marks on the back, the wounds, the dagger. You know what? I've got the tough skin because I've been through it. And I continue to go through it. I don't just sit there and read a leadership book without doing some marketing as well. You know, my book I'm reading right now is this one. If you're looking for a great book, and I'm working, how do I bring this into Manatech? And I'll talk about that in a moment. So I've got 2 books we're going to talk about in a moment. One's called Breathe, it's a magazine, and the other one's called $100 Million Offers. I'm going to talk about those in a second. So keeping it simple. Next is customer speak, which allows you then to become confident and excited. And at the same time, you're creating habits. Success is about habits. You know, I have some core fundamentals. I live my life. 3 things that I'm doing with my life. One is I get up before 6 a.m. every day. Every day I'm awake before 6 a.m., except for maybe on a Saturday and a Sunday. But during the week, I'm awake before 6 a.m. And some of you are like, well, duh, I do that too. However, when I'm awake before 6 a.m., I get up and I either exercise or I start work. Okay, that's my morning. My second thing that I do is I'm always learning. I'm always learning a new skill, a new strategy. I'm always learning. I'm becoming better because I want to be better. Okay, and then the third thing is that I'm always looking for new opportunities. Now, what I mean by that is how do we start doing $100 million offers in Manatech to grow businesses where there's not just 1, 2, 3 people in the world making $1 million a year, that there's hundreds of us. You know, how do we do that? How do we think like that? And that's what I'm talking about, right? Because habits are created, and it's your habits that you create that create your success when you're starting to do this. So then comes momentum. So I'm going to give you a framework that I use, and I'm not going to go through this today, but you can go and download or buy this book. It's called Story Brand, the 7-part framework. If you don't have it, you should get it. It's a framework for marketing that is used in network marketing. It's used in traditional business. It's used all over the world by some of the top network marketers. It is incredible. So here's what it does. So the framework, I want you to think about this for your business. Think about this for Glycans. We're talking about Glycans. I want you to understand your customer's problem. What is it? Take a moment. What is your customer's problem? I'm going to give you a couple. Okay. Right. Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. So understand the customer's problem is that so they want to look after their immune system, they want to be healthy, they're worried, okay, they're concerned, they're not sure about the solutions that are out there. So, we're understanding their problem. They've got challenges in their body. Okay, let's make it worse. They've got challenges in their body, and if they don't fix them, if they don't find a solution, then things are looking bad. Let's make it worse. They want to look after their immune system, but they're not sure about what the government's telling them to do right now. They're scared, they're worried. What if I get COVID? What will happen to my body? What if my children get COVID? You can't say COVID, but my children get sick. What am I going to do? Okay, so this is it. We understand the problem, then we make it worse. Now, the next part, and now I want you to understand what happens for most people. They go, you need to lose weight. Let's talk about weight loss. Easy. You need to lose weight. Great. What's the consequence of not losing the weight? And that's what making it worse is. You must understand the problem, and then you must make it worse. And your presentations, it's called agitating the problem. And all of the top presentations that you'll ever see are about agitating that problem. But now we need to take the pressure off. The pressure comes off by showing empathy. I understand what it's like. I understand how scary it is right now for so many people. And you know, Diana and I were doing it at the start. At the start, we started to understand and show empathy towards the market right now, who are looking for a real solution to the problem they face. Personally, I believe we're going to see 15 to 25% of the Australian people, of the workforce, no longer in a job. Why? Because they're making choices. That means that those people are going to need a solution. And those people are the ones that are actually thinking, well, you know what? I believe in my health. I believe in looking after my body. An interesting market, right? So show empathy. I understand. Show authority. Now we start to talk about glycans. Bring the solution. Okay, the authority is research for almost 30 years, over $2 or $3 billion sold already. Okay, so that's the kind of authority validated by scientific peer-reviewed articles. That's your authority. See, that's where your science comes in. Nobody wants to know that what the science, how the study was done. The only people that want to know that are the people that are a science background. Everybody else doesn't care. All they care about is what will it do for them. Now, let me make this simple. Ladies, I'm going to speak directly to you, and in your chat, I just want you to put in the chat, this is for the ladies. If I had a product and it was called hair and nails, guaranteed way to make your hair and your nails stronger and healthier, put in the chat if that would speak directly to you. Okay, just put in the chat, say, yep. If I'm actually off base and you think I'm an idiot and I've got no clue, then no problem. See what I'm talking about? Hair and nails. Okay. Now, our product's not called, here, Kim says, I have it. You know, our product's not called hair and nails. Okay. But what if we call, you know, and we can't change the name of Ambritose, but we can say glycans. Okay, glycans. And what but you see, what we're talking about here is that a product, they're not they're not worried about the science of that product. They're worried, all they want to know is what will that affect? What will that help me do? And this is why when you look at companies today, that there's some of the new companies that are coming out in both retail and our industry, their products are called hair and nail, muscle, sleep. Manatech, they're doing it fantastic with a new product. Sleep, you know, things like that. I support. It's like, oh, tells us straight away what those products are. And people aren't interested in the science. They're just interested in what it'll do for me. So you've got to figure out, well, what does glycans do for people? What do they do? And then learn and understand that that's the solution. Then you want to show them how to take action. 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, and 3. Then you want to show them what success looks like. What will life look like at the end of being in business with you or taking your products? What will it look like? Then we talk about their transformation. What will happen for them? Who do they become at the end of this journey? Who do they become? They become stronger, healthier, fitter, more confident than when people are around them that aren't well. You're already giving your body the best defense. Maybe we could call this immune defense. I don't know. And you know, why don't you make up your own name? Immune defense. Talk to me about this product today. Here's something. Now invite them into the transformation. The transformation of becoming a better, healthier version of themselves. Now, to go deeper into that, you can buy that book called Story Brand, the 7-part framework. But here's what we're going to do. Become a marketer. Explain what we do simply. Combine glycans and lifestyle transformation. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. And then start the process of your own transformation. Make the conversation about glycans, not about a product. When we can talk about and I used to think it was too hard, but there's a beautiful video that's out there by Steve Nugent. It goes for about 5 to 7 minutes. It's fantastic. It's exciting. It explains in a simple, duplicatable, and easy manner the power of glycans. And it's that one where he talks about a cell phone and he goes through that process. I love that video. I think he's corny. And the way that I present that video, I want you to, and this is how, as a marketer, I give this video to someone. Because I even though I love Steve, sometimes he comes across so simple and relaxed, and he's Steve, and he's an American, and we're Australians over here, and we want to speak Australian. And so the way I go, okay, here's my friend, Steve. I just want you to know, he's explaining this in the simplest possible way. He is the nicest guy in the world. I love him. I've been on this journey with Steve now for 21 years. We've known each other for that long, and he is fantastic. So he's done this video up for me that we can share with other people. Okay, so it's just an easy way for you to understand our product. So then I give them that video. So now when they get this video, the expectation is it's an easy to understand video. It's not going to go into depth or anything like that. And I've already edified Steve, and I probably should put in there that I also say that this guy's got more degrees and doctorates than I even know. I can't remember them. He's so intelligent. The top scientists in the world, when he speaks to them, they're all like, okay, I better know my stuff before I talk to this guy. Okay, so and so I elevate him to a high level, and then I give them the information to listen to. You see, we want to make things simple. Then we start the process of our own transformation. You see, glycans are the opportunity. Glycans are the opportunity not just to transform your life, but to transform the world right now. They need it. Did you know in the US, they can say, we can't say it here in Australia, but in the US, they can say that it supports with vaccinations. Now, interesting kind of a claim that they can make over there. Now, I am not saying anyone should or shouldn't get the vaccination. That is your choice. And that is a good choice for you to make. No one should force you on your choice. No one should be forcing you on your choice. Okay, but it's understanding what we as marketers can do to build our business. And don't get too caught up on all that other stuff happening right now. Okay, let's not get caught up there. So I want you to take an hour to plan. I want you to plan out your social media. Plan how are you going to be positioned on social media as you start to become a glycan professional, as you start to become a glycan warrior, as you start to become the person that really understands what you have. Then you want to work out the marketing flow. What will be the steps that happen to bring a person on board and upgrade? So let's have a look at that for a second. Now, let's first look at social media. In your social media, the inside of Canva, in Canva, if you're not a member of Canva, I highly recommend you getting an account with Canva. There's a free account and there's a paid account. I have a paid account, but it's up to you. In Canva, they have templates pre-made for social media that are going to make you look great. Then what you do is you start just taking nice photos and you start looking, and there's so much training out there right now on how to use social media. So we're not going to get into that, but I want you to think about your positioning on social media. And if you are a person that talks glycans versus a person that just talks ambitose, or a person that just talks weight loss, you can talk about any product. Now, your glycans are the thing that are in nearly all of our products. And so then we're not going to, and then in that, you're bringing the value of glycans, and you're talking about the value of glycans in what you do. Just be careful not to spam your timeline and not to put other things down, but be the person that brings value. Don't put links away from your timeline. So anyway, I'm not going to go into how to build your social media. Naomi has done a great training. The team here can tell you how to get your hands on the social media training that's here, how you be positioned. Marketing flow. What will be the steps? And this is the part that I get off on. Yeah, I get excited by this part, the marketing flow. What will happen when someone likes or comments on a post? What will happen when I meet someone that's not on social media? What will I do with them? Will I get them to become my friend on Facebook? Absolutely, I will. Will I invite them into a Facebook group? Absolutely, I will. What will be my process that I will do when I start to contact someone or be in contact with someone? I personally believe that you are in contact with people every single day. Even if you can't get out at the moment, you're still in contact or could be in contact with people. It's just about allowing yourself to become that person. Every business owner goes through a time of morphing, where they morph from the person that they are today, when they first get started, nervous, scared, frightened, worried, overwhelmed, unsure. They're all of the things that every business owner in every industry feels when they go through the launch. They feel that way. But the person they become is strong, confident, courageous, an overcomer, victorious, a leader. That's who they become. But you need to understand your marketing flow. You need to understand what will be the steps. And this is really simple. It's not hard. This isn't hard. It's just a cup of herbal tea and a few hours work. Let me say that again. It's not hard. It's a cup of herbal tea, not caffeine. Caffeine's not going to help you, and a few hours work. It's sitting there with your tea, with a notepad and pen and saying, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to people. When I talk to people outside, when I talk to people in the marketplace, what am I going to do? Am I just going to talk to them and not give them a call to action? Am I going to talk to them and invite them into something? Or am I just going to talk to them and give them something? What am I going to do? You must know the flow. And then what will happen next? And then what will happen after that? And then what will happen after that? You see, if you don't know your flow, if you don't know what you need to do, then you're not going to get the result that you want to get. Next, here's the flow. As an example. Start reading and planning to take action, okay, of understanding the flow, the change that's going to happen for you. Your transformation begins. People start coming into your funnel because you start learning what you've got to do. Then I keep what works and I remove what doesn't. It's a continuous flow of testing, measuring, and changing. I start to succeed. I get more and more excited because success starts to come. And now you're becoming the person you want to be. You've become a professional. You can take what you've learned and apply it anywhere. This is what will happen with you when you start this process of not just, if we go right back to the start, not just where we go, boom, 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 boom. If we look right back here, what we said, rather than learn leadership, sales, and marketing, they learn science. Now, I'm not saying don't learn the science, but what I am saying is learn leadership, sales, and marketing. This is your process. So that's all I've got to share on my presentation. Now I'm going to show you what I do. So for me, I make it really, really simple. When I'm talking to somebody, I listen. And then when a person says something to me, even if it's about their health, I say, these are my words. I may have something that'll help you with that. If I could get you some information, would you look at it? Would you? I think Naomi actually did this presentation. Would you? I think she's beat me in everything, like seriously. Anyway, so would you, that's what I'll say. And they'll say, sure. So look, this is a basic of what it's going to, this is how I explain ambrotos. You ready? This is how deep I go. I don't go any deeper than this. The palm of my hand is a cell. Attached to my cells are proteins. Attached to these proteins are glycans. You can't see them, but I want you to imagine that we have hair, gross, right? Growing out the tips of your fingers. Those are glycans. Those glycans are required for your cells to communicate. So when that one cell comes to another cell, they come and they talk to one another. That's how they talk. They're required by every cell in your body, every body on the planet, and every process of the human body. Let me say that again. They're required by every cell in your body, every process of your body, and every body on the planet. We are the only supplier of these glycans in the world. We're looking for people to expand our business in the Coffs Harbour region right now. I'm not sure if this is for you or not, but how about we catch up? We'll have a cup of herbal tea or a coffee, whatever you want to see. And let's talk about whether this will work for you or not. It's okay if it doesn't. I just want to get to know you a little bit more. That's me. That's me. This is a cell. This is proteins. Oh, now I want you to imagine there's glycans coming out the top of those proteins, my fingertips. Gross, I know, right? Well, every cell in your body requires these glycans. The problem is they don't get them. But your cell requires them to communicate with your other cells. But without them, what they do is they do this rather than do this. This is nicer. This is what they're supposed to do. But without them, they do this. We are the only supplier on the planet for all 8 of these glycans. They will be required by every cell in your body, every body on the planet. And we are the only supplier. I'm currently expanding my business right now in Sydney, in Mossman, in Gold Coast. I'm not sure who to work with just yet, but you know what? I really love the way that you come across. How about we sit down? I'll show you how they work. I'll show you the way it is. And if it works for you, great. If not, that's okay too. I just want to get to know you a little bit. How awesome is that? It's simple, right? It doesn't have to be any harder. And now you're able to explain glycans. Then when you get to them and you sit down with them, you don't need this big dissertation on how to explain it. All you need, this is a palm. My palm represents a cell. Now, and then I say to them, this is being researched by every medical institution on the planet right now. This is in every scientific journal on the planet right now. We own the technology. That's what I say. It helps. And then all I do is I sit down. I don't have a PowerPoint. I use my napkin presentation. I think, Sharon, you've got that on here somewhere, the napkin presentation. If not, that's what I want to do on the next one. On the next one, I want to show you my napkin presentation. I'm going to get my whiteboard out. I'm just going to have it behind me. We're going to do a presentation. You're going to record it and you're going to put it down. Okay. And we're going to make that simple. I don't believe it's hard. I don't. And I had this conversation. Did you know, why am I emotional about this? I don't know why I'm emotional about this, and that's okay. And I'm emotional about why you find it hard to bring on an associate with Manatech. I don't understand that. You see, when you get how simple this is, and I want you to succeed, that's what it is. I want you to succeed. And until you start bringing on associates, you're not going to get your dream, and your dream's important to me. You're important to me. And so you make it simple and everything will change. Anyway, if you allow yourself to learn this process, you're going to see transformation in your business. And so that transformation is next learning how to present it. But right now, it's going, I actually just learned how to explain glycans. And you're going to want to get more science on it. You're going to want to geek out and you're going to want to share that knowledge. It's kind of like in Hapkido. Did you know that in Hapkido, which is my style of martial arts, we have a handshake? We do. We have a simple hand. We have a secret handshake. We are a secret society. But I'm going to tell you the handshake. When we shake, we hold our hands like this. So when I shake hands, I don't know, it looks like this, right? Why? Because we it's called the Hapkido finger. You'll see it on our some uniforms. Looks like this. Why? Because we don't use these two fingers in our self-defense. The strongest grip is these three. If you look at a monkey, that's their three. They're the three fingers. These ones are here for stabilizing. This is for grip. Anyway, whole conversation. But the only people who know about that, well, now you guys know it, so it's not so secret anymore. But anyway, the only people that really know about that is a Hapkidoist. That's what your knowledge about glycans should be like. Your knowledge about the science is there to bring authority to you. While you speak too much about the glycans, or while you speak too much about our science, all that does is it puffs up your authority. You only need to do that a little bit. You only need to say a few things. So for me, when I'm doing it, all I say is, I talk about 5 or 6 little things. That's it. That's done. I say it's in Harper's biochemistry. It's in this and it's in that. Done. Move off that and get back onto the customer. Move off that, get back onto the associate and what they want. When you do that, things start to change. Things start to happen. So your job then is to make that simple. Your job is to make it easy. Your job is then to allow yourself to keep on that path. So this is a cell, this is a protein coming off the protein and glycans. So that is how you explain ambrotyose. That's it. Now I'm going to open that up to some questions. I know I've made it really, really simple and probably, I know you probably thought I could have done that last little bit at the start and saved you 45 minutes, but if we need to lay the foundation, I think that's okay. Sharon, what do you reckon?
Absolutely not. There's so much gratitude, so I don't think you should have changed a thing. I've got bandwidth problems here today, so hopefully you can hear me. We only had questions is how quickly can I get the recording so I can review and practice?
I'm so glad.
Yeah, that's an easily answered one. So anybody would like to put a question in the chat? And I mean, I think you nailed it. Everybody's on fire today. It must be a good planetary alignment. It was perfect, James.
Thank you. So the next one, Sharon, if you're okay, probably should do
a week after next is open.
Okay, let's do it. So let me just double check. I shouldn't throw my foot into it. So week after next, the 20.
I think it's the 1st of October, 2nd.
2nd of October.
October 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
All right. Good work.
Okay.
Get these people going with their new skills.
Yeah. So I'll just put down Shaz. There we go. Okay, it's in my diary. So welcome. Thanks, Ken. Good to see you, mighty man. And thank you, everybody, for your kind, wonderful comments. And we'll, so here's the thing is, Shaz will put up the video, and Gary and Diana. So start thinking now, if there's anything I would do if I was you, number one, practice that. Practice, this is a cell, this is proteins. Imagine hairs coming off the proteins. They're required by every cell in the body, everybody on the planet, every process of the human body. They allow your cells to communicate like this rather than do this. Remember that. If you can remember anything, just remember that. Have you ever seen that before, Sharon?
No, I haven't. Oh. No, it's brilliant.
And then the next part is, then you go, remember that, and then then the next part, all I would worry about, just that, practice that. And then the next part is understand, well, what's going to be my flow? Then you can do whatever you want, whether you're doing stuff online or offline, doesn't matter. Like I just brought on a wellness clinic down in Mossman. So high-end wellness clinic, they're coming on board. They're going to, all of their exclusive clients, blah, 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 blah. Ambrotyose, glycans, they love the whole glycan story. I had one, True Health, but she didn't like the True Health, so bugger. Anyway, people want that simplicity. They want glycans. This is how you do it. All right.
one question there. How do you bring in the glycans when you're talking True Health?
Well, True Health has, the True Plenish has 2 glycans in it, I believe. Or is it 3? There is glycans in it. It may not be the ambrose
I can't
glycans.
remember.
It may not
Diana's
be the
memory girl.
it may it may not be the ambrose glycans, but there are glycans in the shake.
There you
go. Anybody else? No. Excellent. All right.
Thank you so much, James.
Welcome.
Have a fabulous
Have
rest
a
of your
lovely
weekend.
afternoon, morning, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go get breakfast.
Yeah, fantastic. And we've got Dr. Nugent next week. He's going to do a special extended version of his manifest talk on lifelong nutrition. So that's going to be, and that will be perfect for guests. So you can start practicing your invitations. Thanks, James.
Jazz hands.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.